Hi, my name is Mel, and I'm so glad you could make it to this short video about how best to visit British Museum and the 10 top tips you need to make your visit a success. It's one of the world's greatest museums, with a collection of 80,000 objects on display at any one time, ranging from the dawn of time to pretty much the present day. And because it's free, this makes it the UK's and indeed London's most visited attraction. So it's important to know the ins and outs of going. I'm going to tell you the 10 most important things you need to know to avoid you turning up and just not being able to get in. Just before I begin, can I ask you, if you get use or enjoyment from the video, could you consider liking or subscribing, commenting, especially giving it the thumbs up, click the notification bell, you know, all that good stuff. So, on with the video. Tip number 1, how to get entry to the museum. Now, whilst it's true that entry is free, there are very many times of the year when it's recommended that you get a ticket, and that's mostly to do with how busy the museum is, and we'll come to that at the end of the video. So there's a system of advanced booking and entry time which is recommended and gives you priority access to the museum, although there still can be a bit of a queue to get through the security checks. I recommend that you book online and in advance at britishmuseum.org and at no other website. The link is in the description. Tickets can be booked even on the same day, up to 6 weeks ahead, and that way you'll know that you'll get in, assuming you follow the other tips. If you weren't able to book the time slot that you wanted, the museum does say that walk-up visits are available each day, but if visitor numbers are very high, non-ticket holders may have a longer wait to gain entry. This could be a very long wait. Tip number 2. Well, if you've got a ticket, when do you need to turn up? If you planned ahead, the museum says visitors are kindly requested to arrive only at their pre-booked entry time. The key words are arrive only at their pre-booked entry time. If you do arrive late, I'm sure that they'll do their best to get you in, but they're making no promises. So if you turn up too far outside of that timed entry, staff may make you wait until the next available entry slot. And on busy days, I'm not sure when that might be. Tip number 3. Can you just turn up and get entry that way? Well, if you fancy just turning up, it is possible to do so, and on quieter days, you can walk straight in. But on busy days, what should you do? Well, most people don't know about it, but there are 2 entrances to the museum. The famous one on Great Russell Street at the south end of the site, but there's a second quieter entrance at the northern end of the site on Montague Place. And it often has shorter queues, so if you haven't got a pre-booked entry ticket, head to the Montague Place entrance, especially on busy days. Tip number 4, how to get there. Well, I think most people are going to turn up by tube to the British Museum. Now, the main entrance, the famous one, is closest to Tottenham Court Road and Holborn tube stations, about 7-8 minutes walk from either of those 2. But the quieter northern entrance on Montague Place is much closer to Russell Square. So if that's where you're headed, I recommend going to Russell Square Tube. Tip number 5, security. The British Museum, like all places that attract significant visitor numbers, has a security system. Often this is just a bag search. I think sometimes it has been more of an airport-style bag scanning system. But at the moment, it's a bag search. And the requirements for that are that any bag you've got has got to be 40 by 40 by 50 centimetres, sort of carry-on luggage size. But I suppose that depends on your airline. It's got to weigh 8 kilograms or less, and it mustn't have wheels. So if you've got a bag that falls outside of those requirements, you're not being granted entry. Tip number 6, you really need to plan your visit in advance. The 80,000 objects on public display are arranged across more than 60 different galleries. So you cannot possibly take it all in, and you need to have some way of making sense of this bewildering number of objects in order to enhance your visit. I have two recommendations for self-guided tours, and we'll come to guided tours later. Both of my recommendations are linked in the description. The first one is the free Rick Steves app, and it just considers the Great Court plus the Assyrian, Egyptian, and Greek galleries. I've used his app many times in many cities, and it's always been good. The second alternative is you could use the British Museum's own app, which for £6 will give you introductions to all the galleries and expert commentaries on 250 highlights of the collection. It's available in 9 different languages. But whichever app you use, the museum expects you to use headphones to avoid disturbing other visitors, which of course you can buy from the gift shop if needed. Tip number 7, how long should you allow for a visit? The British Museum doesn't place a limit on the length of your visit. Once you're in, and you can stay as long as you like, or indeed until the end of visiting hours, when staff will usher you out. I would say, though, from having been there several times, a really quick visit would be 2 hours. And a long visit could, of course, be all day, depending on the number of galleries that you want to visit, or whether you go to one of the on-site eateries and have a drink or a snack or something like that. And there's more on the on-site eateries later. Tip number 8, guided tours. Well, the museum has a huge range of both free guided tours and there are some paid-for tours. In the paid-for tours, the museum offers the Around the World in 90 Minutes tour for £14, and there's a link in the description. You must book this tour in advance, and the meeting place is inside the museum. So you've got to get inside the museum for the scheduled time, otherwise your £14 will have been wasted. It starts at 11:30 a.m. and also there's another one that starts at 2 p.m. and as the name suggests, it runs for 90 minutes. And you will see spectacular sculptures from ancient Greece, explore life and death in ancient Egypt, and get closer to many more highlights from the collection. You should note, though, that this paid-for tour isn't necessarily offered every day, nor do both the evening and afternoon tours necessarily run. So check the website. Now, free tours. The museum has free eye-opener tours that typically last 40 to 30 minutes and cover topics such as Japan, ancient Greece, ancient Rome, ancient Egypt, medieval Europe, and so on. Again, the link is in the description as to where to find these tours. Tip number 9, food and drink. Especially since your visit is likely to be a long one, what is the situation regarding food and drink? Well, the museum has several offerings, from the food trucks at the museum entrance, through to the cafes in the Great Court, the pizzeria in the southwest corner of the ground floor, and up to the Great Court restaurant. And that's pretty much almost on top of the reading room in the middle of the Great Court. As ever, I'll put a link in the description. But you should also know the museum says you can bring your own food and drink and can consume it in the Great Court. Families can bring packed lunches to the Ford Young Visitor Centre during weekends and school holidays, so you can take a picnic and save some money. Tip number 10, the most important one. When is the museum likely to be busy? Well, the museum opens at 10 a.m. and closes at 5 p.m. every day of the week, except for Fridays, when it closes at 8:30 p.m. It's the only evening opening in the week. During these opening hours, it's busiest at the weekend or during English school holidays, on English bank or public holidays, and again, there's a link in the description. And on all other days, it tends to be busiest around the middle of the day from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. And finally on rainy days, which I'm sure you're getting the hang of it. There are some rainy days in the UK. The museum can be unexpectedly busy because it's an entirely indoor attraction. So to avoid the crowds, plan to visit on weekday mornings, just after opening, if you can, or late afternoons after 3 p.m., avoiding school holidays and the peak tourist season like summer and Christmas. And consider focusing, once you get in there, on the less popular galleries, if you're interested, of course, because it's nearly always crowded around famous sites such as the Rosetta Stone, the Parthenon marbles, the Egyptian sculptures, and mummy galleries. So that's it. Thanks very much for watching. And like I say, you know the drill. If you could comment, like, share, subscribe, or watch one of these other excellent videos from the channel, that would be brilliant. Thanks very much. Bye-bye.